The distress signal, the merchant vessel's starlight harmony, drifted through the void like a wounded bird with broken wings. Its crystalline hull, once gleaming with prismatic beauty, now bore deep scorch marks from plasma fire. The ship spun slowly. In the darkness between star systems, far from any trade route or civilization dot inside the command deck, Navigator Kellen pressed her six-fingered hands against the navigation console. Her pale violet skin had lost its usual luminescence, a sign of extreme stress among her species, the Zealothi. She turned her large amber eyes toward her captain, unable to hide the desperation in her voice. "Captain Thymar, our position drift increases with each rotation. Without engine power, we cannot correct our course. We are moving deeper into uncharted space." Captain Thymar stood at the center of the bridge, his tall, slender frame wrapped in the ceremonial robes of a Zealothi. Merchant captain. His species had evolved on a low-gravity world with perpetual twilight, making them naturally graceful, but physically fragile compared to most galactic species. He maintained his composure, despite knowing their situation grew more dire with each passing hour. "What is the status of our life support systems?" Thymar asked his chief engineer. Engineer Quex emerged from beneath a damaged console, his insectoid features expressing frustration through the rapid clicking of his mandibles. The Vrex engineer had joined their crew 3 cycles ago, ringing. His species' natural talent for understanding complex machinery. Now even his expertise seemed insufficient. Primary atmospheric processors have failed completely. Secondary systems operate at 30% efficiency. We have perhaps 4 standard days before carbon dioxide levels become toxic to the Zealothi crew members. The Vrex and Coloran can survive longer, but not indefinitely. The bridge fell silent, except for the occasional spark from damaged equipment. Their crew of 20 beings represented 5 different species, all peaceful traders who had never imagined facing such danger. They carried no weapons beyond basic meteor deflectors. Their cargo hold contained exotic spices, rare minerals, and cultural artifacts meant for the grand market at Stellarion Prime. Nothing worth dying for. Yet here they were, dying slowly, in the cold embrace of space. "The Ravager clan did this," spoke Myra, their youngest crew member. She was Coloran, her blue-scaled skin still showing the patterns of youth. "They attacked us for our cargo, but when they found nothing valuable enough, they destroyed our engines out of spite." Thymar nodded gravely. The Ravager clan had become increasingly bold in recent months, attacking civilian vessels throughout this sector. The Galactic Council's peacekeeping forces were spread too thin to patrol every shipping lane. Pirates knew. They could strike and disappear before any law enforcement arrived. "Communications Officer Yalin, have you been able to send a distress signal?" Yalin, an elderly Zealothi whose skin had taken on a pale blue tinge with age, worked frantically at his station. Half the communication array had been destroyed in the attack, but he had managed to jury-rig a basic transmitter. "I have sent our distress call on all emergency frequencies, Captain. However, our range is limited. Only ships within 5 light hours would receive it, and we are far from standard shipping lanes." The reality of their situation settled over the bridge crew like a shroud. They were lost in empty space with failing life support, no engines, and little hope of rescue. Even if someone heard their call, what were the chances they would risk? Entering uncharted space to help a single merchant vessel? Hours passed in tense silence. The crew took turns resting, conserving their energy and the ship's failing power systems. Thymar remained on the bridge, staring out at the stars and wondering if he would ever see his home world again. His daughter would be celebrating her naming day soon. He had promised to bring her a gift from the stars. Suddenly, proximity alarms began wailing. Yalin shot upright at his station, his fingers flying over the controls. "Captain!" Multiple vessels approaching. At high velocity. configuration unknown. They are massive. Thymar felt his heart skip. His species had two hearts, and both were now racing with fear. Unknown vessels usually meant pirates or worse. Perhaps the Ravagers had returned to finish what they started. Can you identify them? Scanning now. Captain, these readings cannot be correct. The lead vessel measures over 2 kilometers in length. Energy signatures indicate weapon systems that exceed military-grade specifications. Wait. I am receiving a transmission. The bridge speakers crackled to life. A voice spoke in accented but clear Galactic Standard, the common trade language used across known space. Merchant Vessel Starlight Harmony. This is Admiral Sarah Chun of the Terran Expeditionary Force. We received your distress signal. Prepare to receive aid. Do not be alarmed by our approach. Every being on the bridge froze. Terrans, humans, deathworlders. Engineer. Klex's mandibles clicked rapidly in alarm. Captain, we must refuse their aid. The humans come from a Category 12 death world. They are predators, warriors, beings who thrive on conflict and chaos. Myra huddled against her console, scales shifting to a defensive gray color. The stories say they have redundant organs, can survive wounds that would kill any civilized being, and their home world has thousands of ways to kill them daily. What could such beings want with us except conquest? Thymar understood their fear. Every spacefaring species knew of humanity. They had burst onto the galactic scene barely 50 standard years ago, their technology crude but effective, their biology impossibly resilient. Their home world, Earth, was classified as one of the most hostile life-bearing planets ever discovered. High gravity, tectonic instability, extreme weather patterns, and countless predatory species. The fact that intelligent life had evolved there at all defied conventional understanding. Yet these same dangerous beings were offering aid. Captain Thymar, the human admiral's voice continued, I'm reading critical failures in your life support and propulsion systems. We can help, but we need your permission to dock. I understand you may have concerns about our species, but I give you my word as an officer that we mean you no harm. Thymar looked at his dying ship and frightened crew. They had no weapons to resist even if they wanted to. Their life support would fail long before they could reach any inhabited system. The choice was between certain death and uncertain mercy from the galaxy's most feared warriors. Admiral Chun, Thymar responded, his voice steady despite his fear. We gratefully accept your assistance. Excellent. We'll match rotation and dock. Within the hour. My medical team will board first to check for injuries, followed by engineering crews to assess damage. Please inform your crew that all humans will be wearing environmental suits to avoid any biological contamination in either direction. As the massive human vessels approached, Thymar could not help but stare in awe. The lead ship was unlike anything in the Galactic Council's fleet. Its hull was dark gray, almost black, with angular designs that suggested both functionality and menace. Weapon ports lined its sides, each one capable of devastating firepower. Smaller vessels flanked it, moving in perfect formation, like predators, stalking prey. Yet these predators had come to help. The human ships moved with surprising grace for their size. The lead vessel, which the Admiral had identified as the TES, Resilience, matched the Starlight Harmony's rotation perfectly. Docking clamps extended with mechanical precision, creating a stable connection between the two vessels. Docking complete, announced Admiral Chun. Medical team preparing to board. Captain Thymar, do any of your crew have specific atmospheric or pressure requirements we should know about? Thymar was surprised by the question. He had expected the humans to simply board without consideration for their comfort or safety. The Vrex crew members require slightly higher humidity, and the Koloran prefer cooler temperatures. but we have all adapted to standard atmospheric conditions. Understood. We'll adjust our environmental suits accordingly. First contact with new species is always delicate. We want everyone to be comfortable. Minutes later, the airlock cycled open. The first human to enter was not the towering warrior Thymar had expected. She was of average height by galactic standards, with dark hair tied back in a practical style. Her environmental suit was white with medical insignia, and her movements were careful and deliberate. Captain Thymar? I'm Dr. Amanda Foster, Chief Medical Officer of the Resilience. May I approach? I'd like to scan for injuries if that's acceptable. Her voice was gentle, almost musical compared to the harsh tones Thymar had expected from the deathworlder. He nodded permission, and she approached, slowly holding up a medical scanner for him to see. This is completely non-invasive. It will help me understand your species' baseline biology so we can provide appropriate treatment if needed. As Dr. Foster worked, more humans entered. They moved efficiently but carefully, clearly aware that their presence was frightening. To the merchant crew, each human introduced themselves by name and role, asking permission before approaching any equipment or crew member. Asterisk. The unexpected Alliance Chief Engineer Marcus Rodriguez stood before the Starlight Harmony's damaged engine core, his expression thoughtful behind his environmental suit's visor. The Vrex engineer Klex watched nervously as the human examined the crystalline power matrix that formed the heart of their propulsion system. This is beautiful work, Rodriguez said with genuine admiration. Crystalline energy conversion with harmonic frequency modulation. We use crude fusion reactors by comparison. Your technology is far more elegant. Klex's mandibles clicked in. Surprise. You appreciate our engineering? Are you kidding? This is art and science combined. The way you've grown these crystals to channel energy ... It's like nothing in our database. Would you mind explaining the harmonic calibration process? I want to make sure we repair it correctly. For the first time since the attack, Klex felt his fear subsiding. This human spoke the universal language of engineers, curiosity and respect for elegant solutions. He began explaining the intricate process of tuning the crystals, and Rodriguez listened intently, occasionally asking insightful questions. Meanwhile, on the bridge, Admiral Chun had arrived to coordinate the rescue operation. Thymar had expected a grizzled warrior, scarred from countless battles. Instead, he met a woman in her middle years with laugh lines around her eyes and an easy smile. She moved with the controlled grace of someone comfortable with their own strength, but conscious of others' fragility. Captain Thymar, I've reviewed your distress call details. The Ravager clan has been terrorizing this sector for months. We've been tracking them, actually. Your attack matches their pattern perfectly. You hunt pirates? Thymar asked. Among other things. The Terran Expeditionary Force isn't just military. We're explorers, peacekeepers, and yes, sometimes we hunt those who prey on the innocent. It's complicated. Young Mira had been hovering near the edge of the bridge, her scales shifting between curious gold and fearful gray as she watched the humans work. Dr. Foster noticed her and approached slowly, maintaining a non-threatening distance. You must be Coloran, Foster said warmly. I've read about your species, but never had the honor of meeting one. Your adaptive camouflage is remarkable. You're not going to hurt us? Mira asked in a small voice. Foster's expression softened behind her visor. No, sweetheart, never. Humans have a saying, the strong protect the weak. We're strong because our world made us that way, but we choose how to use that strength. As the human medical team treated minor injuries and distributed supplements, to help with stress, their engineers worked miracles with the damaged systems. They had brought specialized equipment that could interface with the crystalline technology, adapting their crude but powerful fusion generators to supplement the Harmony's elegant but damaged power systems. Captain, Communications Officer Yao-Lin, announced suddenly, his voice tight with fear. Long-range sensors detect approaching vessels. Configuration matches. It's the Ravager clan. They're returning. The bridge fell silent. Admiral Chun straightened, and for the first time, Thymar saw the warrior beneath the diplomat. Her entire demeanor shifted, becoming focused and deadly serious. How many vessels? Chun asked. 5 attack craft and a command cruiser. They'll be here in 2 hours. Chun activated her communicator. All Terran vessels. This is Admiral Chun. We have incoming hostiles. 5 attack craft plus command vessel. Implement Defense Protocol 7. Protect the civilian vessel at all costs. She turned to Thymar. Captain, I need you to trust me. Move all your crew to the center sections of your ship, away from the hull. This might get rough. Admiral, we cannot ask you to fight for us. We are strangers to you. Chun smiled, but it was a different smile now, the smile of a predator who had found worthy prey. Captain, those pirates made a mistake. They attacked innocent people in space where humans could hear the call for help. We take that personally. The next 2 hours passed in tense preparation. The human ships repositioned themselves, creating a defensive sphere around the Starlight Harmony. Thymar watched in amazement as the human crews worked with choreographed precision. Every movement had purpose, every action coordinated across multiple vessels without apparent communication. Rodriguez had managed to restore partial power to the Harmony's shields, a feat Klex had thought impossible with their damaged systems. It won't stop a direct hit, the human engineer explained, but it'll help with debris and energy scatter. The Ravager ships dropped out of hyperspace, exactly where Yao-Lin had predicted. Their leader, a Saurian known as Captain Vex, immediately broadcast on all channels. Human vessels, you interfere with a legitimate salvage operation. That merchant ship is our lawful prize. Withdraw or face the consequences. Admiral Chun's response was broadcast on all frequencies, her voice cold as the void itself. Ravager, vessels, you are guilty of piracy, attempted murder, and violation of Galactic Council Resolution 247. Surrender immediately or be destroyed. Vex laughed, a harsh sound like grinding metal. Humans, so confident in your reputation. You are outnumbered and far from your territory. You will learn that the void belongs to those who take it. All Terran vessels, Chun commanded. Weapons free. Fire at will. What happened next would be remembered in this sector's history as the Battle of the Void, though it lasted less than 15 minutes. The human ships moved like a single organism, their weapons fire coordinated in patterns that seemed chaotic, but were devastatingly effective. The Ravager. Ships had expected a conventional battle, ships exchanging fire while maneuvering for position. Instead, they faced something entirely different. The humans fought with 3-dimensional thinking, using the void's emptiness as a tactical advantage. Their smaller vessels performed maneuvers that should have torn them apart, their pilots enduring gravitational forces that would have killed most species. One human corvette deliberately rammed a Ravager attack craft, its reinforced hull cutting through the pirate vessel like a blade. The human ship emerged damaged but functional, its crew very much alive despite the impact that should have been fatal. How are they surviving these maneuvers? Kellen gasped, watching the tactical display. Redundant organs, Dr. Foster explained, having remained on the bridge to coordinate medical response. Multiple backup systems throughout our bodies. High bone density from evolving in heavy gravity. Blood that clots quickly. We're hard to kill because Earth tried to kill us every day for millions of years. The Ravager command cruiser attempted to flee when it became clear they were outmatched. Admiral Chun's ship, the Resilience, pursued with relentless determination. A single precise shot from their main gun disabled the cruiser's engines, leaving it dead in space. Ravager vessels, this is your final warning. Surrender or be destroyed. One by one, the surviving pirate ships powered down their weapons. The battle was over. The humans had won decisively, taking only minimal damage while completely defeating a force that had terrorized the sector for months. In the aftermath, as human boarding parties secured the pirate vessels, Captain Thymar found himself standing beside Admiral Chun on his bridge. His entire worldview had shifted in the span of a few hours. "Why?" he asked simply. "Why risk your lives for strangers?" Chun was quiet for a moment and spoke thoughtfully. "Captain, humans have a complicated history. We've been both predator and prey, conqueror and liberator. We've made terrible mistakes and learned from them. When we joined the galactic community, we made a choice. We could be what everyone feared, the deathworld monsters who take what they want. Or we could be something else." "What did you choose to be?" "Guardians," Sean said simply. "We're strong because we must be, dangerous because our world made. Use that way. But we use that strength to protect those who can't protect themselves. It's not always easy, and we don't always get it right, but we try." Chief Engineer Rodriguez emerged from the engine room, his suit covered in crystalline dust, but his expression triumphant. "Captain Thymar, your engines are repaired. Well, more like rebuilt with a hybrid design. You'll find she runs smoother than before, and we've added some redundant systems for safety." Klex followed, his compound eyes bright with excitement. "Captain, the humans have shared their shield frequency modulation techniques. Our defenses are now 3 times stronger than original specifications." As the human fleet prepared to depart, taking the captured pirates to face justice, the crew of the Starlight Harmony gathered to bid farewell to their unexpected saviors. Young Myra approached Dr. Foster, her scales now showing the bright blue of genuine happiness. "Dr. Foster, will we see you again?" Foster knelt to Myra's eye level. "I hope so, sweetheart. The galaxy's a big place, but humans have a way of showing up when needed. Plus, your captain has our contact frequencies. If you ever need help, just call." Captain Thymar stood with Admiral Chun as the human ships prepared to undock. "Admiral, I must ask, is it true what they say about your world? That it has creatures that can kill in thousands of ways, storms that can devastate continents, and diseases that would destroy entire civilizations?" Chun chuckled. "All true, Captain. Australia alone has enough venomous creatures to depopulate a small planet. But you know what? It also has some of the most beautiful sunsets in the galaxy, oceans that sing with life, and people who'll cross the void to help strangers in need. Your world made you warriors. No, Captain. Our world made us survivors. We chose to become protectors." As the human fleet departed, the crew of the Starlight Harmony watched them disappear into hyperspace. The emergency was over, their ship was repaired, and they had a story that would reshape how this sector viewed humanity. Engineer Klex stood beside Captain Thymar, his mandibles clicking thoughtfully. "Captain, I must recalibrate my understanding. The humans are dangerous, yes, but not in the way we believed." "How do you mean?" "They are dangerous to those who would harm the innocent. They are dangerous to pirates and tyrants. They are dangerous because they have the strength to destroy, but choose to protect instead. That kind of dangerous ... Perhaps that is what the galaxy needs." Thymar nodded, looking at the stars where the human ships had vanished. "Send a message to the Galactic Council. Tell them the truth about humanity. Tell them the deathworlders had become the Guardians." As the Starlight Harmony resumed its journey to Stellarion Prime, its crew carried with them a new understanding. The humans, the feared deathworlders from the impossible planet, were not the monsters of legend. They were something far more remarkable. Beings who had faced death every day and chosen to become life's defenders. The galaxy would never be the same. Asterisk.